Imagine you run a business where your product is um, like absolutely perfect. Your customers love it. They walk out with a huge smile on their faces, completely thrilled with the experience. And then 80% of them just never come back.
Yeah, I mean, it's a brutal reality.
It really is. Welcome to the tutoring industry. Today we are looking at something that perfectly captures that massive disconnect between human intention and human action. We are digging into this really fascinating article about AideRing and how AI phone agents are, completely transforming how tutoring centers operate.
Right, and we aren't just talking about basic customer service bots here, or like those automated text messages that annoy everyone.
Nobody likes those.
Exactly. We are looking at a highly sophisticated system that sits right at the intersection of behavioral psychology and advanced artificial intelligence. The source material lays out the specific methods these AI agents use, and honestly, the financial benefits that follow are huge.
Our mission today is to figure out how combining those two things, advanced AI with deep behavioral science, doesn't just automate a few phone calls. It is actively turning trial classes into full enrollments and plugging these massive revenue leaks.
It's a complete paradigm shift.
Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah.
Because for me, the most fascinating part of the source material isn't even the technology itself. It's what this tech reveals about human decision-making and why human staff are actually at a massive disadvantage when they try to follow up with parents.
Yeah, to really understand how the AI works, we first have to look at the fundamental flaw in the standard human approach.
Yeah.
Let's put you, the listener, in the shoes of a parent for a second. You bring your kid in for a math trial class.
Right.
The kid is actually engaged. They finally solve a fraction problem they were struggling with. The teacher is fantastic and the materials look great. You are super impressed.
Yeah, you're thinking, this is exactly what we need.
Exactly. But then you get to the front desk and you say, I need to think about it, or I need to check our schedule with my spouse.
And the brutal truth from our source is that most of those parents who walk out the door to think about it, well, they're just lost to the wind.
Completely gone.
And it's not because the tutoring program failed them. It's because of a concept behavioral economists call the peak end rule. People judge an experience largely based on how they felt at its most intense point, the peak, and at its end.
Which a successful trial class hits beautifully. The peak is your child gaining confidence, and the end is that warm goodbye at the desk.
But here is the catch. That peak creates this really razor-thin window of opportunity.
What's fascinating here is that the research shows there's a sharp drop in conversion probability after the first 24 hours. It's not a slow fade. It falls off a cliff.
Wow.
Yeah, by hour 48, your brain has completely shifted gears into rationalization and distraction. The gap between interest and action is where human psychology does its absolute worst work. Doubt creeps in, and competing priorities just stack up.
It's like walking out of a great movie, completely pumped to buy tickets for the sequel.
Yeah.
You're riding this wave of total optimism. But then you walk out the door, you get to the parking lot, and the reality of daily life is just waiting for you.
Yeah, the real world hits you.
Exactly. The dog needs to go out. You have urgent text messages from work. You have to figure out what's for dinner. By the next day, the emotional momentum is completely gone. Tutoring centers know this, right? They know they need to call parents quickly.
But human staff simply cannot scale to meet that 24-hour window consistently.
They're just too busy.
Right. I mean, a front desk receptionist has a dozen competing priorities. They have kids walking in the door, teachers asking for printouts, parents asking about billing. When they finally do find 10 minutes to make follow-up calls, it's often just the wrong time of day for the parent.
Or the receptionist sounds rushed or tired,
Oh.
or like they're just reading a script to get it over with. The medium destroys the message.
And that's where the AI comes in. And AI doesn't get tired, it doesn't get stressed. It operates perfectly within that fleeting emotional window.
Since this 24-hour window is so critical, let's trace the exact method of how an AI phone agent executes this follow-up. The article gives us a really great hour-by-hour breakdown. Let's say you just picked up your daughter, Emily, from that math trial.
Starting with hour 1, which is data capture, the moment Emily's trial class ends, the center's CRM logs her attendance.
Right.
But the AideRing JavaScript environment is already going to work behind the scenes. It's pulling your contact info, the teacher's notes, and scoring you as a lead based on high-intent signals.
So if you, the parent, were asking detailed questions about pricing and took extra brochures, the system flags you as a hot lead.
Exactly. But if you were looking at your phone and left early, the AI knows it requires a much softer touch.
Then we move into hour 2 to 6. This is where the AI actually places the first call, introducing itself as Sarah. And script notes point out this is absolutely not a sales call.
No, it's a satisfaction call. The AI asks, how did Emily feel about the class today? It's pure intelligence gathering.
Which is so smart.
It really is. It transcribes your answer, analyzes the sentiment in real time, and logs any objections or competitors you might mention.
Okay, wait, I need to stop you there.
Yeah.
I get the theory of emotional safety, but there's a difference between a warm tone and the uncanny valley.
Sure.
If an AI is calling me 2 hours after a class, and it sounds like too perfect, doesn't it rouse suspicion?
Mm-hmm.
As a parent, I'd probably put my guard up if I felt like I was being socially engineered by a robot.
It's a very fair point, and it's actually the most common hesitation center directors have before deploying this, but the designers of these systems are hyper aware of the uncanny valley.
So how do they get around it?
Well, the AI's tone isn't designed to be flawlessly robotic. It's designed to be conversational. It uses deliberate pacing. It includes filler words like naturally. It creates pauses to let you speak.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, because it doesn't sound desperate or salesy, and because the audio latency is so incredibly low, your brain just processes it as a genuine interaction with an attentive staff member. You drop your guard and actually share how you feel.
Which sets up the next phase perfectly. Hour 6 to 12, the offer window. The AI calls back because the emotional resonance is still high from the trial and from feeling heard during the satisfaction call.
Right, now it uses a commitment device. It offers a new student package. It might say, if you enroll by tomorrow night, we can lock in Emily's spot with Miss Chen and include the first month of materials for free.
So here we see scarcity and price anchoring deployed dynamically. The AI isn't just selling a generic tutoring package. It's selling a specific outcome with a specific teacher based on the data captured in hour 1.
And if you hesitate, like maybe you say you need to talk to your husband, the AI pivots beautifully to what sales professionals call the alternative close.
The micro commitment. The AI says, I completely understand. Can I hold the spot for Emily until 8 p.m. tomorrow while you discuss it?
Exactly. You aren't saying yes to giving them money yet. You are just saying yes to holding a spot. It feels like a zero-risk decision.
Psychologically, that small yes is profound. This is one of the most powerful behavioral hacks in the entire method.
It really is. We think we are delaying a decision when we say yes to a hold, but subconsciously our brain starts identifying as a customer. People who agree to a micro yes trigger the engine of commitment consistency.
Right. They feel invested.
Exactly. They are statistically far more likely to enroll later because they've already taken ownership of the spot in their minds.
Then we hit hour 12 to 24, closing the loop. This is a final, shorter, direct call. The AI follows up on holding that spot.
And this is where it really flexes its computational muscle because it adapts to your specific roadblocks. If you were worried about the cost, the AI instantly calculates and offers a customized payment plan.
And if you suddenly have a schedule conflict, the AI is literally checking Google Calendar in real time while on the phone with you to suggest new slots.
Yeah, when you finally say yes and enroll right then and there, the AI triggers a massive chain of automations. It's not just talking to you, it's executing administrative tasks.
It triggers a payment processor, updates the CRM, books the calendar, and queues up the welcome email.
And if you don't enroll, it doesn't just forget about you. It tags you for a 30-day nurture campaign. No lead is ever truly lost to a sticky note that fell behind a desk.
Converting the trial is obviously the headline act here, but the source material makes it clear that once this infrastructure is in place, the methods expand into the rest of the student life cycle.
Because acquiring a student is only half the battle. Retaining them and maximizing their lifetime value is where a tutoring center actually builds a sustainable business.
Let's talk about the graveyard.
Oh, the graveyard.
Every business has one. These are the dormant students, kids who came for 6 months, did great, and then sports season started, or they moved and they just faded away.
And human staff, they absolutely hate calling the graveyard. It's tedious, the connection rates are low, and it feels like cold calling. Receptionists avoid it at all costs.
Yeah, nobody wants to do that.
But the AI runs quarterly reactivation calls effortlessly. And it does it with incredible personalization. It doesn't just say, hey, do you want to come back? It references specific past achievements from the database.
Like, Emily had such a strong foundation in algebra with us last spring, and we have an advanced fractions workshop coming up.
Exactly. It offers a low-friction return that feels like a teacher genuinely remembering and caring about the student's progress.
It also tackles one of the biggest economic drains on a service business, which is missed appointments. Ghosting.
Ghosting destroys economics.
It really does. If a kid doesn't show up, the center has still paid for a teacher, a room, and materials. It's a total margin killer. So the AI makes proactive 24-hour confirmation calls.
And if you say you can't make it, the AI uses that real-time calendar integration to reschedule you right there on the phone before the slot goes to waste.
The AI is also uniquely positioned for upselling and cross-selling, which is traditionally very awkward for human educators to do. Teachers want to teach, not sell.
But timing is everything. If Emily aces a midterm, the AI calls you within 48 hours to share the good news, and then suggests an advanced problem-solving group.
Striking while the emotional credit in the bank is at its absolute highest. Here's where it gets really interesting for me, though. It's the intelligence gathering. Think about those written satisfaction surveys businesses email you.
Yeah.
Be honest. Do you ever fill those out?
Never. Nobody does unless they're absolutely furious or wildly thrilled.
Right. You learn absolutely nothing about the 80% of people in the middle, the silent majority.
The AI completely replaces those ignored written surveys with conversational check-ins. Just a quick call asking how the kid is enjoying classes.
The article points out a fascinating human quirk. Parents will casually tell an AI things they would never bother formally writing down in a survey. You'll casually mention that the parking lot is a nightmare at 5 p.m., or that the waiting area is always freezing cold.
Which uncovers huge operational blind spots. And crucially, it detects early churn signals. If you casually mention, oh, we're just really busy right now with soccer, the AI parses that natural language.
It recognizes the risk factor.
Yep. And immediately tags your account as at risk. It triggers a retention workflow for the human center director to intervene. They can fix the leak before your family actually quits.
Plus, the system handles inbound calls 24/7. If you are stressing out about your kid's math grade at 10 p.m. on a Tuesday, you can call the center right then.
The AI answers, qualifies the lead by grade and subject, and books a trial class for the next morning while you are actively seeking a solution.
Okay, the psychology makes sense on paper, but words are cheap. If the AI promises a parent a spot with Mrs. Chen, but the system doesn't actually book it, the whole illusion shatters. So how does a voice on a phone actually manipulate a complex database in real time? This requires a fascinating marriage of deep behavioral psychology and complex API ecosystems.
It all comes down to function calling. It's bridging the gap between conversational AI and back-end infrastructure. The voice you hear is really just the steering wheel.
The AideRing JavaScript execution environment is the engine, the transmission, and the axles all working together underneath the hood.
Exactly. When you verbally agree to a Tuesday slot, the AI's language model translates your natural language into a JSON payload.
It instantly pings the Google Calendar API to block the time, executes the Stripe API call to authorize the card, and updates the HubSpot pipeline in milliseconds.
It is not just transcribing voice to text and sending an email alert to a human to do the work later. The system is actively executing state changes in the database.
And this is how the psychological tactics are actually enforced. When the AI uses the tactic of scarcity, saying Miss Chen's class literally has one spot left, that isn't a fake marketing script.
No, the AI has queried the database, confirmed the inventory, and is dynamically generating that dialogue.
We also see the API executing loss aversion, framing what the child stands to lose by waiting, based on their specific academic history logged in the CRM. It's a complete business process that just happens to use voice as its interface, which naturally leads to the big question. So what does this all mean for the human staff? Are the receptionists and center directors just out of a job now?
If we connect this to the bigger picture of the tutoring industry, the impact is actually the exact opposite of replacing humans. Tutoring is, at its core, a relationship business. Parents are buying confidence, mentorship, and peace of mind.
The AI doesn't replace the human connection. It amplifies it by stripping away the administrative burden.
Right. It frees the human staff from drowning in sticky notes, missed calls, and repetitive follow-ups. Instead of a center director spending 3 hours a day leaving voicemails that nobody answers, they can actually focus on mentoring the kids.
They can talk to parents face-to-face in the lobby. They can handle the complex emotional situations, like a child dealing with severe test anxiety, that genuinely require a nuanced human touch.
The AI is essentially a multiplier for the human staff's empathy. A tutoring center deploying these AI methods is going to outcompete a center relying on manual follow-up every single time.
Because they capture the momentum before the parent even gets a chance to get distracted by life. They secure the emotional peak.
Exactly.
We've seen how these AI phone agents operate flawlessly. They navigate the 24-hour conversion window perfectly, they gather intelligence without being pushy, and they manage complex API integrations seamlessly in the background.
It's incredible.
But looking at the sheer efficiency of this setup leaves us with a really fascinating philosophical question about the nature of customer service itself.
I'd love for you to ponder this as we wrap up. If an AI phone agent never gets frustrated, never sighs heavily, never sounds desperate or rushed, and remembers every single detail about your child's academic history perfectly, in a weird way, does the machine actually provide a more human and caring customer service experience than a stressed-out, overworked human receptionist?
It's wild to think about. A piece of software executing JSON payloads might actually make you feel more heard and cared for, precisely because it lacks the exhaustion and flaws of a human being.
It's a real paradox.
Just something to think about the next time you walk to your car, riding that fragile wave of optimism and your phone rings. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into the methods and mechanics of AI phone agents. We'll catch you on the next one.